participation of American forces in Beirut will again be for a limited period, but I have concluded there is no alternative to their returning to Lebanon if that country is to have a chance to stand on its own feet. Grenada, we were told, was a friendly island paradise for tourism. Well, it wasn't. It was a Soviet-Cuban colony being readied as a major military bastion to export terror and undermine democracy. We got there just in time. At 7 o'clock this evening, Eastern Time, air and naval forces of the United States launched a series of strikes against the headquarters, terrorist facilities, and military assets that support Muammar Gaddafi's subversive activities.
Just 2 hours ago, Allied air forces began an attack on military targets in Iraq and Kuwait. These attacks continue as I speak.
Let me say at the outset, America's role will not be about fighting a war. It will be about helping the people of Bosnia to secure their own peace agreement. Our mission will be limited, focused, and under the command of an American general.
On my orders, the United States military has begun strikes against al-Qaeda terrorist training camps and military installations of the Taliban regime in Afghanistan. My fellow citizens, at this hour, American and coalition forces are in the early stages of military operations to disarm Iraq, to free its people, and to defend the world from grave danger.
The way that the U.S. took leadership and managed this process ensures international legitimacy and ensures that our partners are bearing the burden of following through on the mission as well. Because, as you know, in the past, there have been times where the United States acted unilaterally, and as a consequence, typically it was the United States military that ended up bearing the entire burden.
So the accidental president of the New World Order, on vacation with his family in South America, enjoying the ice cream and the other cholesterol-laden foods that can't be shown at the White House, goes to war, sets off a fierce debate in America where, strangely enough, both far left and far right come together and say foul ball. The fact of the matter is he violated the U.S. Constitution. The fact of the matter is he is the first president in American history that I know of who has turned American troops over to a political steering committee. Given that he is a community organizer, he has taken the U.S. military and assigned them to a community organizer somewhere deep within the bowels of France to tell them what to do. Now Dems are ripping Obama on Libya and bringing up impeachable offense. That's right, impeachable offense. Here in the San Francisco Bay Area, where I happen to live, the far left is totally opposed to it. Some of the most whack-job leftists say things such as the president has violated the War Powers Resolution. That's from the know-nothing Rep. Zoe Lofgren. I agree with her. Rep. Mike Honda, another fanatical left-wing stupid moron, Democrat of San Jose, issued a blistering statement saying the administration is sending a message to the world that American democracy is deeply dysfunctional. I agree with him. Representative Lynn Woolsey, one of the most clueless fools to have ever entered the halls of Congress, said, the idea that we could be stepping into a third war just makes me sick to my stomach, to tell you the honest truth. This is the savage nation. The fact of the matter is I have my own views. They're not too far from what these people have said, incidentally. But the thing I could add to this is that we are acting as the Hessians for the French and Italians. You see, most Libyan oil is sold to Italy and France. But here America has been roped into doing the heavy lifting for France and Italy. We are acting as the Hessians for the French and Italians. Who were they? They were 18th century German soldiers hired through their rulers. And though used in several conflicts, the Hessians are most widely associated with combat operations in the American Revolutionary War. Hessians have become a byword for mercenaries. The once mighty American military has now been reduced to doing the dirty work of the French and Italians so that they can keep their oil. And in the meantime, we won't even drill for the oil we've got here within the 48 states. Did you know that we have some of the largest untapped oil reserves in the world? Do you know that the vast oil reserves in Alaska that are closed to drilling contain, millions, if not billions of barrels of oil? Do you know that the largest natural gas deposits in the world remain virtually untapped, called the Marcellus and Utica Shale? Do you know about the Bakken Formation in North Dakota that holds more than 4 billion barrels of oil? Do you know about the petroleum reserves under the Rockies that could well be the largest on the planet? Ask yourself why Obama is not drilling in these places. Ask yourself why he's closed drilling in the Gulf. The answer is because he works for the 7 sister oil companies. That's what it's all about. They put the stooge in power. They're the ones behind the war. The man needs to be put out of office. He's impeachable. He's violated the Constitution, if not on the basis of this illegitimate, illegal war, then on the basis of naked incompetence. That's what I say. But it's one man's opinion. That's all it is. Fact of the matter is, there's a lot to be talked about today, and I'm sure many of you have listened to all the cable shows, all the talk shows around the clock, and you all want to sound off, and the phone number is 1-800-449-8255. The show is The Savage Nation. Let's begin in Portland, Oregon. Desiree, welcome to the program. Welcome. What's on your mind?
It's all about the draft. Whoever he's working for, whatever he's up to, he needs his own army. This is an excuse for the draft. So is all the illegals here. They're all draftable, even if they're here illegally.
Oh, wait a minute. He's not asking for a draft. He's using our Navy and our Air Force. He is not using ground troops.
He will. He'll need them eventually.
Well, we have the brave French to do that, and the Italians, you know what great soldiers they are. I'm sure they'll send in an entire battalion from Rome to fight in Libya. They'll do just as well as they did in World War II.
This is a way to support the people that have no jobs, put them in...
Well, I don't go to that level. You think he's going to draft the illegals? I wouldn't go there. But okay, everything's going to come up now. Pittsburgh, PA. Mike, welcome to the program. What's on your mind?
I really like that opening segment. I think it really puts in context how incompetent this White House is. I don't think you can get any more black and white than that.
Well, where do you see the incompetence most prevalent?
Right in the speech. He's supposed to be this great speaker. He's incompetent. He doesn't speak with any power like these past presidents.
Well, but he's on vacation, Mike. You see, the problem is you're asking him to work while he's on a vacation. He had a heavy week last week. Remember, he had to fill in basketball scores. He entertained basketball players. He had St. Patty's Day to contend with, and he flew Friday. The guy's tired. You're asking for too much from him. He's only a community organizer. He's learning, you know. He's still on the tricycle. He's not ready to ride on 2 wheels yet.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, no, it's unbelievable. Everybody I speak with says, how can this man be a president? Everybody knows he's a faker. Everybody can see now that the king has no clothing. Everybody knows the man faked his way into the job. Everybody now knows America is suddenly in the greatest danger it's ever been. Everybody understands this is almost God speaking to us to show us how idiotic we become as a nation, that we would elect this empty suit, to use an overly used phrase, to the White House. But it's far deeper than that. Never underestimate individuals of this caliber. This man is extremely intelligent. This man, Obama, is extremely dangerous. This man is on a one-man mission to wreck this nation and all its traditions, in my estimation. As I have pointed out, and I'll repeat it over and over again, because it's the most important book written over the last 5 years. It's called Trickle-Up Poverty. I spell it out in great detail, and I am telling you, we all know he's the naked Marxist. Those of us who have studied his background in college, going back to his upbringing by his mother, the man was raised to do what he's doing. It's as though he's the Manchurian candidate, if you want to put it in that juvenile context. And then you ask yourself, having said all of this, I've heard it all before. I heard it from all the people on the right wing. It doesn't make sense to me. But on the basis of incompetence alone, wouldn't you argue that there's something very wrong with the picture? That the man is out of the country while war is being engaged in? The Secretary of State did this with 2 other women. 3 war hawks, the Valkyries of the administration, overrode the Defense Department and launched an airstrike against Gaddafi. They did it. They're the ones. They're bloodthirsty war hawks. Hillary Clinton did it. I'll be right